Did you know companies are expected to spend $1.5 billion in ad revenue through podcasts by 2023? That's right. Podcasting is the future and we're still very early. The tech is better than ever and the barrier to entry is lower than ever. That's why I created my No Bullshit Guide Podcasting for Beginners ebook to help you get started. Visit blackisnewrich.com to get yours.
Yeah.
He made about 250
It
grand?
could probably be over a little bit under 250 grand
For that one?
for that one weekend. Yo, the food truck industry is insane.
Welcome back to another episode of the Black is the New Rich podcast. We're on episode 36 and we got a very special guest again. He's back in the building, a legend in his own right. He's doing a lot of things, a lot of good things in the community. He's doing a lot of big things when it comes to entrepreneurship, and he has had a very interesting summer. So I wanted to bring him back on to share what he's been through. But again, please, can you introduce yourself?
How's it going, everybody? My name is Sam. Some of you guys know me as Sam or Samuel. I am the owner of Sam's Juices. I got the colorful food truck that everybody knows. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm known for right now. I also run a Alzheimer's gala fundraiser, which we'll be going to shortly this week. So I'm also known for doing that. But yeah, I'm a man that's, in the community, trying to make moves, trying to make a difference, and just trying to do positive things and grow and make money, of course,
yes.
At the same time while we're doing that, for sure.
Of course. So why I brought you back, because I noticed you had such an interesting summer when it comes to Sam's Juices. I've been watching all your moves. I was like, okay,
yes,
that's a play there. That's a play. Why is he doing these things? So for people that don't know, what's happened since the last episode?
Yeah, since the last episode, I was once in STC.
Yep.
No longer there.
Yep.
In regards to just obviously like how the whole leasing and agreement was going to work.
And for people that don't know, STC is
Scarborough Town Center. Yes, it's a mall. So I was obviously blessed, and I thank them every day for getting me into that opportunity. But decided not to move forward. Obviously, it was sad. I had a lot of people reach out to me, and they're like, "Yo, why'd you close?" Because I had a lot of regulars.
Yeah.
A lot of people that came out, and they were just like every single day, like. Especially we had a guy named Troy, probably the best customer I've ever had, but every day, same thing, jerk chicken sandwich. Every day, no matter what, even if I'm not there, he's there.
Yeah.
So we built up a nice crowd, a support system there. The people of Scarborough really welcomed us. And so it was hard to leave, but financially, I didn't think it was right for me to stay there. And I didn't want to just keep a store just for the sake of keeping a store.
True.
I think that a lot of business owners sometimes, because they're worried about people are going to say, they struggle along to keep their business and just drag it along, thinking that, you're a failure. But no, it's not a failure. It's the beginning of a new chapter, So.
And it's about like adapting.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. So what are like some of the key factors that cause you to close it down?
I would definitely say monthly overhead.
Okay.
I think that I was pretty much putting too much out there in regards to overhead. And I feel like, I could have cut back a lot.
Okay.
Like a lot. And I didn't feel like I needed to, I still felt like Sam's Juices can operate without putting that out.
Oh, okay.
Right. So even though I had the exposure of being in the mall, and yes, it was busy, I didn't believe that I needed to be putting out so much overhead for me to still be successful and run a great business. So I think that was number one, to be honest. I would say also too, there was a lot of competition in that mall that I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to be a part of, right? Because I'm still a beverage business. So at the end of the day, you had like the bigger heads in there. You had the Real Fruits, you had the Yogan Fruits, you had the Freshly Squeezed, you had the Bubble Tea Space, you had like the Ren 10s, you had the, what else? There was another one. Chat Time was also in there.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, I'm still big in my own right, but I was still a little dog facing against like 8 other major beverage companies and franchises that they have the money for the marketing. They have the money for that. Like these guys were paying to the point where their signs were all over. Jeez. So there was a part of me that also felt like I was drowning in that mall. Right. So as much as I was like, front page, I was also drowning behind everything, because you still have to pay for all that marketing. Yeah. You got to pay to get extra TV time in the mall. Yeah. So you're walking around the mall and you see like Chat Time. Yeah. Big sign right in front of my store on the big screen. Like, so it's like, so you're everywhere. And granted, as much as I am small and I'm still working towards getting bigger, they have the funding and the capital to put that out. True. So it's like that did show me something too also, right? And it was like I took a step back and I was able to be like, okay, cool. For me to get to the next spot,
I need this type of funding.
I need a type of funding. I got to reset and I got to put myself in a position where I can market myself now. Because once it's in your face, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And that's what these guys, they're smart. They know how to put it in your face. And when you have that type of funding, you could do that. But I didn't have that type of funding as it being my first store, right? To be able to do that. I was able to just pay my employees, you know, stay afloat, make some profit, which was good. But now it's like you need bigger profits to reinvest back into the business. Yeah. So that's definitely, I would say, one of my major reasons also too.
Okay. So for the people thinking about doing a brick and mortar in like the mall or what have you, can you give like a ballpark price, what they would have to be looking at?
Man, first of all, I would say wait and take your time. That's more important than even what you need to have. Okay. Take your time and actually plan. Depending on the type of unit you want to get, if you're in food or if you're not in food, I would say you have to worry about your build out costs, right? Okay. For like exhaust, all your ventilation for food. So I would say for something around that, you're looking at anywhere, if it's food, anywhere between 30,000 to I would say 50,000
to begin.
Just to begin, because more importantly, if you're going to cook food, you need to have like ventilation. You have to. It's so important. If not, your smell is going to be stuck in that store. You need something that's going to take that smell out, and it's going to get it.
Those are things that we don't even think about.
No, you don't think about. You need ventilation before people think, hey, let me just go set up, let me get popping. No, like first you got to realize, I'm going to have costs to get this ventilation system properly ran so that you can be taking the smell out of that store so it doesn't stay in your actual store.
Oh, wow.
The fumes, the hot heat, anything it needs to get out. It can't stay in the store. So before you do anything, I would say anywhere between 30 to 50,000, and it could be upward depending on if you have to do a full build out.
Oh, true.
Right? If you're taking over for an old restaurant or an old store, then you can kind of obviously just go in and then make sure everything's good. Your costs will be on the lower end.
Yeah. So Did you have to do a build out in there?
I didn't have to do a build out only for the fact that I wasn't doing any heavy cooking. So I only had a convection oven.
Oh, true.
So we just baked our chicken and that was it.
Yeah.
And it worked out for us. But now if you want to get into the fryers, you want to deep fry, you have to have ventilation because now all that smoke from the fryers going out. Yeah. So my cost wasn't on the higher end, but it still obviously was in the middle because I had to renovate other things as well, right? So, but I would say if you're doing food-ish, look at a minimum of 30 to 50,000 to start, and then it can run anywhere up to even 100 grand for ventilation. If you're not doing anything like that, I would say just to be on the higher end, about 50 grand, because I would want to pay my rent up at least 4 to at least 8 months in advance. Just have that ready and sitting. Yeah. So depending on what your rent is, I would say try to have 4 to 8 months of rent.
Okay.
Yeah. Just start. Yeah.
Okay. That's good game. Sure.
Yeah.
So granted, or when you get investors interested in your brand in Sam's Juices, would you consider going back to the mall and maybe franchising your thing later? Or like, what do you think about that now? That's
a very interesting question. That's a good question because a lot of people have asked me that. Franchising is something I will never do.
Really?
Never. Wow. I would never franchise my business, only for the fact that I am a person, I need to have full control over my product, right? Okay. So as I expand and I want to open up new stores, I'm a person, I'd rather still be an owner and just have different managers. Because once you start to franchise, I don't know if you guys notice this, you can go to one pizza and it's a little bit different than the other pizza down the road. Yeah. So once you start to franchise, from my personal experience, the quality starts to change. And this is why a lot of people don't know Chick-fil-A doesn't franchise, right? And when I say they don't franchise, is you're an owner operator. You don't own that franchise because they need to make sure the quality is the same every single time, right? So I don't want to go to a Sam's Juices location and taste something good, and then now I'm tasting something different at the other location because people try to change things up.
Yeah.
Right. So if you guys go to certain pizza stores or certain other places, it tastes a certain way. But then when you go to Sam's now, because Sam owns this one, and now he added a little bit of jerk seasoning, or he did this, he did that, because it happens at a lot of locations, and you'll hear people complain that, oh, I went to this location, they did this.
Yeah.
And you know where I actually started to see that a lot was in Sunrise. I don't know if you guys remember, Sunrise used to be popping.
Yeah.
Used to be popping, but now you have all different types of people that are now owning it, and now they're changing it up, right? Things are starting to change. The chicken doesn't taste the same, or this doesn't taste the same. So for me, I cannot have anybody else's hands in my product to keep the same quality. I'll never franchise.
Yeah. You need the same order for all.
Yes. So I want to be able to still go in there and be like, okay, cool, this is how we're doing things. But I'd rather just place managers in spots as my locations grow and still oversee it. Okay. I'll get help, of course, when I can hire that. But for me, I'll never franchise just for that reason. Okay. Quality is very important.
You will, or you have plans to expand?
Definitely have plans to expand for sure. But I want to expand to the point where it's still manageable. Like I don't feel like I need more than 10 stores, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to manage it to the point where I can still have time, you know, keep my hands there in the cookie jar, be able to still move things around, and not expand to a certain point where it's like, I need 10, 20 stores. That was never a goal of mine.
Okay.
It was to keep it like a boutique brand and keep it there and not ever like change.
Okay. Dope. So I'm going to come back to the store, but I remember from the first episode, how you had 3 homes, right? Yes. And since then, mortgage rates have gone crazy. How's that have affected you, or has it at all?
For me, it hasn't really affected me.
The fixed?
Yes. It hasn't really affected me, but I can tell you this though. Yeah. One thing I have learned is that going through this and the pandemic and these different things happen, how important it is to have a nest egg, especially if you own a home. Because I definitely feel like things happen, things are going to change, and we don't know things. I feel like things now, it's like, you don't even know what's going to happen next year, to be honest.
Yeah.
They can say, okay, guys, this is what's happening in the world. Everyone needs to go home. You can't even work.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I was to be in a situation like that, I would be more prepared in the sense of having that nest egg, having that emergency savings, so that if mortgage prices have to go up or payments, then I'll be prepared. Yeah. But thankfully, I wasn't affected. Thankfully. Yeah.
I feel like people with variable rates are getting hammered.
They're getting hammered. I have a lot of friends who are going through that right now. And it's just like, I was paying this now. And now it's like, believe it or not, just an interest rate being changed by a percentage can now spike your price. Yeah. So now you're like, okay, cool. I'm spending this. Now it's like a couple hundred I didn't plan on ever spending before.
And now if you add multiple properties, homes, family.
Yeah. Like I know people who own like 10 homes and they're feeling it right now, because it's like, and that's the thing. Let's just say going through the pandemic, your tenant can't pay that. Yeah. Now it's like that got to come in your pocket, but you were never ever prepared to pay that. Yeah. Right. So it's like having that nest egg puts you in a position where it's like, just in case something does happen, I'm able to cover my tenants, because it's your mortgage at the end of the day. The bank is going to be calling you, not your tenant. Okay. Right. Yeah. So that's kind of how I would prepare for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I remember from the last episode, your cleaning business, I know you took a break when it came to the pandemic. Did you bring that back up or what?
The cleaning business it's still there, but it's in a sense where I'm kind of finished with it in a sense. Oh, really? Because I'm focused on kind of just like two main clients right now that is good enough for me. Okay. Majority of my, I would say, energy is going into Sam's Juices, because with the cleaning, I think it was something that I did because I had to. I did like it, but it didn't take out that creative gene in me. Okay. Right. So I over the last 3 years, I've been realizing what stimulates me the most, because that's where I want to be. I don't want to ever be in a business and just doing it just to do it
repetitively.
Yeah. I want to be in somewhere that stimulates me. Like when I'm doing Sam's Juices, bro, I can literally sit there and think of like 100 ideas on how I can grow this business and where I can go with it. That's what stimulates me. That's where I get my creativity from, right? Yeah. So I said, I'm going to save some time and energy and kind of put the cleaning business on the back burner to the point where I eventually just dissolve it all together and just put all my energy into Sam's Juices.
Okay, wow.
Because I see things growing off of Sam's Juices. I feel like Sam's Juices is going to be the head and there's just going to be little satellite businesses under them within the Sam's Juices Corporation.
Because this summer, like I was, obviously I pay attention to your socials. You're in Miami.
Yeah, bro, we're everywhere.
There's some places, you were everywhere.
Yeah, we're in Miami. We got to do Rolling Loud this year. We got to do Vel this year. We got to do the Vegan Deal this year. And we did a lot of small like micro events, but these events, I didn't want to shy away from them. Like we even got to do Adidas. Yeah. Because these are all events that are going to also put us on the map, right? It's also going to bring more awareness to my business. I totally believe in not like refusing events because they're small. Some people don't take events because like, I'm bigger than this, but I don't believe I'm bigger than anything regardless. Yeah. Right. There's still people there. Yeah. And there's going to always be that one person that sees your brand and is like, hey, can I bring you here? Yeah. Can I bring you? And that's literally how like Adidas happened, because somebody saw me somewhere and they're like, yo, we'd love to have you at that. Right. Yeah. And then somebody who was at that Adidas event said, yo, I'm having this major event next year that they already booked me for. Yeah. I'm not really allowed to speak on it yet, but they booked me for that major event because I decided to go to a smaller event. Hey. Right. So I still try to associate myself with just the regular people, if you want to call that, or the smaller events, because I believe it could still put me in a position to win regardless. Okay.
So I remember over this summer, we had a personal conversation, and what really sparked my mind was, I believe you were at Veld and you were talking about another food truck owner. Yes. And I believe he had like about 6 of them.
Yeah, like 6 trucks there.
And he made about 250 grand?
It could probably be over a little bit under 250 grand.
For that one?
For that one weekend. Yo, the food truck industry is insane.
Jeez, and what was he selling?
Believe it or not, just poutines and burgers. Because so that's the thing, and that's one thing I learned too, which I would tell you guys, was that when you go to these major festivals, like these major festivals, it's like everything has to go out quick. So it's all about producing fast. Okay. You can't sit there and think, okay, we're gonna make this. We're gonna have this
gourmet stuff.
No gourmet stuff. Yeah. Like even if these big festivals, they tell you before the festival, you need just 4 items. Yeah. Because they want things to move quick. Okay. You gotta think, Veld had to be at least 180,000 people, maybe even more throughout the weekend. So you have lineups of like thousands of people. You gotta go. Yeah. You gotta be pushing. So major of the food trucks were all selling like poutine, burgers, maybe some tacos, and that was it. Yeah. So you think you're making like 250 racks off of just frying poutine, making gravy and burgers? Why not?
That's one.
And that's one. And that's one festival.
One big festival.
One big festival. You can hit a lick off of one big festival, never work ever again, man.
Jeez.
Like for the rest of the year, I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, so, but that showed me something. It opened my eyes. So it's like, okay, cool. Like as a Sam's Juices truck, yes, we have our lemonades. Yes, we have our smoothies. It was a hit, right? But like people also need to eat.
Yeah.
So that also showed me like I got to expand because they're drunk or they're whatever, they're under the influence. Yeah. So that also opened up my eyes and showed me, I got to expand. If I want to be hitting these heavy hitter numbers, I got to expand as well. I got to have food on my truck so I can still incorporate my brand. It might not be a burger, but it's a jerk chicken sandwich.
Yeah. And you can make that quick.
Oh, you can make that quick, right? Yeah. So, or it's jerk chicken poutine.
Yes.
So I can still keep the Caribbean brand, but it's also now doing what they're doing, but on a different, and I'm not going to lie. Like if you go to a festival, you come get a nice jerk chicken sandwich, you might prefer that over a regular burger.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So being there now, it's like, okay, cool, bro. I know how I'm gonna hit heavy next year.
Yeah.
Like next year for me is the takeover, bro. Like that's really how I'm looking at it. It's the takeover because it's like I seen everything unfold in my eyes this summer. Like this summer was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like I can really
seen it. I actually seen it. The moves that you're
being in these settings like a Rolling Loud and a Veld, it's like wow. Like I got to sit there and I did well, but it's just like I saw how there was so much more potential for more.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to think about what I'm doing is very basic.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing what anybody else is doing.
Yeah.
I'm creating lemonades. I'm putting my own twist on them. I'm creating smoothies. But like even with the jerk chicken sandwich, let's be honest, it's been around the block forever.
Yeah.
But I'm taking it and now I'm putting it in settings where the money is.
Exactly.
I'm going to where the money is.
You're going to where the attention is.
And the attention is. So it's like, that's for me, that's my formula. And it's just mass producing that formula, but still providing quality, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's break it down from the start. Like for the person that's looking to get a food truck, you know, they have their own, let's say like food brand or what have you.
Yes.
What's the first steps?
I would say the first step is going online, and I'll tell anybody this, is the research is it's the key ingredient to getting started, right? I call it the key.
Yeah.
And for me, why I say it's the key is because you got to go online and see what's out there first. And I try to also go and see if there's anything that's like me too.
Yeah.
Because you want to see what competition is like and you want to see kind of what's out there. But the most important thing is if you want to get a food truck, go online and look. There's a lot of people selling used food trucks, whether businesses that tried it didn't do well, or they have extra trucks and they want to get rid of it. Or you can even find trucks that are being auctioned.
Okay.
They're being auctioned so you can get it at a cheaper price.
And you can go to these auction spots and kind of...
Yeah, and you can go to these auction spots. So they even have like old UPS trucks, old FedEx trucks.
Makes sense.
So they're being auctioned off.
Yeah.
Or you can actually go to a food truck company where these guys who build the food trucks, they have the trucks already in stock.
Okay.
You might pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they'll do everything for you, right? So they could do a full build out.
Okay.
So that's from the base, like the floor,
what you need.
To what you need, even down to your appliances. They put the appliances for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so let's break down some ballpark pricing. If you just get let's say an old UPS truck, what type of pricing are you looking at?
Okay, so for example, I'll give you guys an idea. Last week, I was just looking online just to see what trucks are out there. I saw it was like a 15-footer truck, and it was a used truck, bare bones. It was like $23,000.
Okay.
And that's just a private sale. So I'm sure you can go there and maybe like negotiate and probably get it for like 21.
Yeah.
So you're thinking 21. So let's leave 21 on the table.
Okay.
Then you got to worry about actually building out your actual kitchen in there, and which is not cheap.
Okay.
It's not cheap.
What are you looking at?
So if you want to build a basic kitchen with appliances and everything like that, I would say a lower end, because of what I've gotten quoted, lower end is probably going to run you like $30,000. If you want to go to a higher end, I know some trucks that were about $150,000 to build out.
Okay.
Like I'm talking full on top of the line appliances and everything.
Okay.
So you obviously want to get your appliances. You're going to need obviously all your stainless steel stuff. And you also can't forget, you got to get your truck like licensed and inspected.
True.
So you got to pay for your inspection costs.
True.
You also got to call the ESA because they got to make sure all your electricals ran properly.
Okay.
Right. So if your electrical is good, then they give you that safety sticker so that you can actually run at festivals. Because before each festival, they actually come and check to make sure your electrical is good. Okay. If not, they won't hook your power up.
Wow.
Because some festivals, you can use their power, you pay extra. You don't have to have a generator.
Yeah.
Right? So even a generator alone, people don't know, for a good quality generator, you're looking at $7,000.
Okay, wow.
You can find it used, but if you want a good, quiet one, quality, it's about $7,000.
So these things all like add
up, which a lot of people don't know. But I would say if you're looking to start on a lower end, for sure, I would say if you're going to buy the truck, you can find one from anywhere to like 19 to 23,000.
Okay.
And then for a decent build out, you're looking at anywhere between 30 to 50,000. Okay. And that's just to keep it basic.
Okay.
So let's just say, let's call it 65 grand.
Okay.
Let's call it on, and as I'm saying, like on the lower end.
Yes.
On the lower end. And if you want to go higher than that, that's on you.
Yeah.
But I would always start on the lower end because you don't know how this business is going to do.
Okay. Fair.
Right. And back to what I told you last time, there's also the rental option.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy a truck.
Talk about that.
Okay. So with the rental option, option now. There's a couple companies that do food truck rentals. So you have to obviously rent your truck earlier on in the year. So let's just say food truck season is going to start in June. You want to have your truck ready to go by, I would say, roughly around March.
Okay.
So some trucks, depending on the size and depending on how intricate it is, the kitchen, you can look at anywhere from $1,000 up to about $3,500 a month. So think about it. You need it from March all the way back to September. So times 3,500 by whatever that amount is, and that's what your cost is going to be if you just want to rent it. And if it doesn't work out, you can give it back.
Okay.
Right? So I like the rental option if you're just starting out, because you can go along the ends of getting a cheaper truck for now, spend roughly about $1,500, and then you can get the truck also wrapped. An average wrap is roughly around like $3,500 to about $7,000, depending on how detailed the wrap is. But it shouldn't be any higher than that unless you're doing something like.
And you rented crazy. Your first truck?
Yeah, experience? I rented my truck, yes. And then I also paid for the wrap too. So my first truck, I was paying about roughly $1,800 a month. Okay. Roughly all in with everything.
That's a lot more manageable for the first time.
Yeah, bro, because you're just managing, and then you just give the truck back at the end. If you realize and say, you know what, this is not for me. Yeah. You just give the truck back. You know what I'm saying? There's no commitments. You put it in your name for that time point, and you get your insurance on it and do all of that. But if it doesn't work out at the end of summer, you say it's not for me, you can give it back. That's why I like renting first. Yes. I feel like you should always test the waters before you dive in deep. Yeah, because if you go buy a truck now, you spend $65,000 and you go to these festivals. Yeah. You don't know what's going to like it. And the thing about festivals too, what I learned is that when you're just starting out, you don't know what festival to go to. Ooh. Think about it. I've been doing this for 3 years. In my first 2 years, I was going to the wrong festivals.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Like what made you think that you're going to the wrong festivals?
Because, okay, so first we a lot of us want to go to festivals that we think are affordable, first of all. So you have some vendor, because you got to pay a vendor fee to get into some of these festivals.
Ballpark prices to
let's just say a vendor fee could start anywhere from $300 and it can go all the way up to $6,000.
Okay.
Depending on
for the big boys.
For the big boys. Yeah. Right? If you get invited to these festivals, they'll give you a little bit of discount, but majority of the time you're paying that. Yeah. Right? So one thing I was doing is because I just wanted to be out there. Yeah. Bro, I was just paying bare vendor fees. Yeah. So think about my first year, I was in 21 festivals. So you do the math.
Yes, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Like, and I was paying the 700 here, the 1,000 here, the 300 there. So it added up. Yeah. So if you actually do the math, all that money I spent in vendor fees, I actually could have bought an actual truck. Okay. But I wasn't educated at the start. I just wanted to be everywhere because I thought I was going to make money and I thought I was going to be good. So I went into these festivals thinking like, oh my God, okay, my vendor fee is only $700. Yeah. This is what I need to make it up. Yeah. But some of these festivals, they're not even checking for you.
Really?
So bro, you're going there and you're not actually even making that. Okay. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying.
$7.
Bro, sometimes you won't. Like I've literally been in festivals where I've even seen trucks get no sales for the whole weekend. So you got to think about that. Your truck is parked up there. Yeah. Right? You might have spent $700, granted, but you're still spending all your supplies. Yeah. You're buying all your fruit.
Your truck fees.
Your truck fees. Yeah. So that's the thing. You got to like make the money to actually pay the truck rent.
Yeah.
So because I wasn't educated, I didn't know what festivals actually worked or were good. Okay. You're just seeing all these big name festivals and you don't know if these festivals are actually proper festivals you want to be a part of. So that was my biggest mistake, was trying to go for everything. Until I started realizing, I took a step back and I was like, okay, where all the heavy hitters are. Yeah. What are the big major festivals that these people are at and where they're making money? First of all, you need to go where there's volume. Okay. The more people, the more chances you are to actually make sales. Yeah. It might not be the greatest, but you can still make sales where you make back your vendor fee, plus you make a little bit of profit. So that's also one thing. And then secondly, too, you also need to have a capital to pay for these festivals, because once they release these festivals, there's only a certain amount of slots. Okay. So they call you and say, hey, Sam, okay, we're giving a deadline for 3 months. You have to have that $1,500 in. And if not, they're on to the next. Yeah. So you actually end up missing out on a lot of festivals if you don't have the money up front.
Oh, yeah, because now, let's say you applied for like 21.
Yes.
You need to have 20.
You need to have that, because let's just say they all accept you. There's some festivals they won't put you in because like we already have a juice company. So true. I've already faced that where I've applied for festivals, but they're not taking me because they have a juice business already, right? So, which is fair. Okay. That was like the Jerk Fest. I tried to get into the Jerk Fest recently. No, they had a sponsor. They had somebody, so I couldn't get in. Okay. Right? So something like that. But if you're applying for all these, once they say, yeah, you're ready to go, Sam, you got to have all that money ready to go.
Right away.
Yeah, because they're
it's
just
not like you can do a festival, get some money, go to the next
No, and only some of them are nice to the point where like, yeah, I'll give you a little deposit. You can put a deposit down and then get in.
But they want their money.
They want their money because at the end of the day, they got to fill it too, right? But now here's the thing is what I'm trying to say to you. You can go to this festival, pay your money, but you're not guaranteed to make it back. Yeah. So why I call the food truck industry nasty. It's a nasty industry because it's very cutthroat. I feel like once you give your vendor money, that's it. They don't care about you. They got paid.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you to sell your product.
Yeah.
Right? It's up to you.
I feel like that's with any business,
yeah,
though, to be honest.
Yeah. So, and why I say it's nasty is because it's nasty in a sense where it's just like no one else is out there looking for you. Right? So you can be placed. You can go to a festival. Your placement is very important. Where they place your truck, it needs to be visible.
Yeah. And you know that beforehand.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even know it. Okay. But they don't care about that's not their job. They're gonna place you where they think is best, but you also know where it's best.
Okay.
There's been festivals I went there and I realized I'm like, yo, this is where you guys have my truck. I'm not gonna make no money. Sometimes you can't because they position the trucks a certain way.
Okay.
So think about it. I went to a festival. I do a lot of tropical lemonades and stuff like that. These guys placed me beside another lemonade company.
Yeah.
So it's like, and when you give people too much options, it's never good.
Yeah, it's never good.
Because now you have people fighting against 5 of the same type of thing. Yeah. Depending on how big the festival is, they can spread it out where they put all the juice companies in different areas. Yeah. That works out amazing. But now you're putting like 3 other lemonade guys right beside me. Yeah. And it hurts all of us. It's not just about me. It hurts all of us because it's like, it's saturated with too much of the same thing. Yeah. Some of these festivals, they just care about the money. So that's the thing. They won't be thinking like, oh, let me just take one juice company so this guy can profit. No, we'll take whoever just so we can get money made.
Their money. Yeah.
So that's also something I was fighting in the first 2 years is where you get there and you're like, why would they have 10 of us here? Yeah. It makes no sense. Yeah. You're saturating this festival with all of the same thing. Yeah. But when you're getting $2,100 times 10, you're not going to complain. Yeah. You got to remember, some of these major festivals, there's 100 vendors. These festivals are making money. Yeah. Like money. Like, side note to that, like one of my long-term goals is to have like the first ever, like, I'm sure it's out here now, but I'm talking the first ever all black food festival.
Yeah, let's get it.
Well, I'm talking like 100 black vendors. Yeah. So we're going to get there one day, but that's definitely a goal for and it's affordable also too, that we're not gouging, because you do get gouged. It's an industry where you get gouged. Yeah. Because you got to think about it. A juice vendor now too, it's at a lower price point. I can't be out there at a festival selling juice for $10. I can't be. Yeah. So you got to think about it. If you want to make that 2,100 back, your price point also has to be at a certain thing. Yeah. So it's looking for festivals too where you also can profit. You know what I mean?
So for you, it's about volume.
Volume. Bro, you hit it on the head. Yeah, volume. And this is why I shifted to what I shifted to this summer. Yeah. Which is the heavy hitter festivals, the Velds, the Rolling Louds, you know what I'm saying? The Vegandales. Like, one thing I learned, bro, is that after this year, I will never do more than like 4 festivals.
Jeez, because you just hit the volume ones.
Yeah, I don't need to ever again. Ever again, my truck does not need to be at 10 to 20 festivals. It makes no sense. Yeah. You could go to Rolling Loud and go to Veld and make what you would make from more than all those 20 festivals. Yeah. You got to think about that. And while I was there, one thing, I'm a man that like, hopefully I'm not talking too much on this question.
No, absolutely.
But one thing, I need to talk about this because knowledge is key. Yeah. Right. And one thing I find as entrepreneurs, a lot of us are, I feel like we watch too much face.
100%.
And we don't ask enough questions. One thing I did, when I was at Veld, I went around and asked all these guys questions. Yeah. Imagine these guys have been at Veld for the last 10 years. So these guys are making money. What I did was I literally went and I started talking to them. Hey, I'm Sam. I own the juice truck over there. Like, how did you get into this? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how long you been doing? Some guys have been at Veld for the last 8 years. Jeez. And you don't go back to something 8 years if you're not making money. Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
And they're racking up.
And what I also understand was every vendor there had more than one truck.
Oh, that's what I was going to bring up too.
Volume.
Because I remember when we talked, you said the vendor had 6.
Yeah, so that guy had 6, but there's other guys that had 2 or 3. Yeah. Because there's so much volume. Yeah. If you're not hitting this area, you're hitting over there. Well, you're probably hitting in all areas. Yeah. So that was also something that opened up my eyes. But mind you now, if you're going to do, for example, I'll tell you guys this. Veld was $5,000 for a vendor fee. It's a lot. Okay. 5 times 6 is $30,000. Yes. So if you're going to put 6 trucks in, you got to have $30,000 ready to go. Yeah. Right. But when you're making $250 back, what is a little 30? Yeah, exactly. So you're still netting 220. Yeah. It's worth it. Yeah, 100%. Right? So a man like me now, that it's like, if I want to have, let's just say my truck and maybe another trailer, I got to make sure, that $10,000 is ready to go. Yeah. Because the only way you're going to make money in these bigger settings, you got to spend it. You got to spend it. You got to spend it and you got to have more than one. So now my future goal is just now from here on out, it's like, I'm only hitting up the heavy hitter festivals because it's like, I know where I got to be and I know my product hits. Like, I know it hits. So it's like, I can't just be, and it's not to knock those other festivals, but I can't be wasting time and money. You can't be doing that anymore. Yeah,
because time is not money.
It's not. So that's one thing I got from these guys. And they said, Sam, you can't be doing these little baby festivals. You want to make real money? Yeah. These guys like, you got to go over here. Yeah. But that also comes from just knowledge. Like I wasn't scared to go and just ask, like, hey, like, how did you do this? Yeah. How did you get here? Like, I saw your truck at another festival. This and that. How did you get more than one?
Amazing,
things like that. So I literally learned so much from that one festival. So I said, never again.
So now you got the game plan.
I got the game. Whoa, man, obviously I'm not going to speak on all the knowledge I got, but I got so much knowledge this summer to the point where it's just like, I know how to literally get rich off of just 5 festivals.
Jeez.
Literally. Like literally. Like I know the game plan now. I know how to price my stuff.
Yeah.
I know where to go and get my stuff. Yeah. I know even who to talk to. The most important thing this summer was I built relationships. And relationships are the most important thing.
How important are relationships? Talk about that. Man, that's key.
Relationships are so important, bro. This year made me realize how much people I don't know. And people think they know people, but it's not until you go and you start seeing like some of these food truck guys were talking to like the big dogs that run these festivals. Yeah. I'm like, yo, how do you know that guy? Bro, that's my homie now. Like that's my friend now. Yeah. Because they built that relationship. Yeah. And what I would tell people, anybody getting into any type of business, who you know is so important.
100%.
It's so important to where you get into it, whether it's a brick and mortar, whether it's a truck or a trailer. If you know somebody's going to save you some coin or some time, which is so important.
That's important, yeah.
Save you time because they're going to lead you in the right direction where you don't have to go and waste time, right? So I was able to build some relationships where I can call this guy like, yeah, I want to get into this festival next year. Okay, cool, Sam, no problem. Yeah. Where now I would have to go apply if I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, true.
So I've already lined up festivals. It's like, I just called the guy now. The main man, where it's like, hey brother, how you doing? Like, Sam, you remember me? Oh yeah. Like I want to get into that festival. Okay, cool, no problem, Sam. Yeah. So now it's like I don't got to go through the whole application process. I got to do that. But if I didn't build that relationship, is what I'm talking about, right? So relationships, it's so important, man. And you would know that obviously in your 100%. Industry and any industry. I'll tell people, build a relationship. Take the time and don't be afraid to like ask questions. Don't be afraid. Don't think you don't know much. I always go into the mindset I don't know anything. Yeah. Right. I call myself dumb in a sense. Yeah, I get it. And that's why I act to these guys. I literally act like I don't know nothing. Yeah. Sometimes I'll have knowledge. I'm like, hey, like, how do you? Yeah, just hear
because you might get something else. Yeah. And to add on to what you already know.
Yes. Yeah. And one person that really opened up my eyes in the food truck industry was Randy's. I'm sure you've probably seen Randy's food truck.
Yeah, 100%.
He's everywhere. Yeah. And he has a bus now. That guy, this man pulled into the festival with a TTC bus. Like he literally turned a TTC bus into a food bus. Wow. Amazing. Right? Like, so he's heavy and he's been in the game for over 20 years, but that was also some motivation. Yeah. So even being able to just go there and ask questions, like, hey, how'd you get a bus? Yeah. How'd you do this? Show me your ways, man. You know what I mean? Ask questions and put yourself in a position to just learn. You always got to be a student of your industry. You always have to be a student, always got to be learning. And that's why this summer for me was the most impactful summer for sure.
Amazing, bro. So a question that I thought of is how do you get wind of when these festivals will start to pick out their vendors? Like, do you email someone? Do you call someone? Like for someone that's just starting out, and how far back do you need to pay attention?
I would put it this way. So put it this way. Anything that's happening in 2023, I've already reached out to guys. Like, so while the food festivals were happening this summer, I've already put myself in a position to be like, hey, I need to be in 2023. Yeah, because they start reaching out to vendors at the start of the year.
Like January.
Yeah, it's like January. So say 2023 is coming, January, they start sending emails out. You can either start looking at all the festivals and there's always a vendor contact. Okay. So I tell people start emailing. Okay. Right? Like I have a friend who's about to enter in this industry. Yeah. He's getting a food truck. I've already said, yo, start emailing every festival that you think you'd want to be a part of. Start hitting them up. I know it's 2022, but don't wait. Yeah. Because at least they can guide you and say, hey, Sam, or hey, Corey, the festival applications don't release until this date. Okay. So now you mark off all the dates on your calendar and you're ready to go. Okay. So anybody starting out, you don't wait. Like don't wait till the festival's about to happen because you also need to see how much it's going to cost. True. Because sometimes they don't post the vendor fee online. So if you know, okay, 7 months from now, I'm going to be in the biggest Jamaican festival. It's going to cost me $3,000. Yeah. Be ready for that. Yes. Be ready for that and have that money ready to go so that when they say, yo, we need your money, we're ready to go. Yeah. Okay.
So for the people listening to this and for the ones that might have the idea that they want to get into this industry. So when I'm hearing this, I would probably be like, so should I skip all the small ones or should I just go right for the big boys?
Don't skip the small ones. Okay. And why I say don't skip the small ones because you can still do small ones that are very inexpensive. Okay. People don't know that even when I didn't have my truck, I was still out there with my tents. Yeah. Yeah. I have a Sam Juice tent. So you can get a decorative tent for roughly about anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500 that has your brand. Yeah. It has your logo and you can make it super decorative. And you don't have to go to festivals with a truck. You can start with the tent. So think about that now. There's a difference in vendor fee between a tent and a truck. So let's just say you had a weekend festival. An average weekend festival for 3 days is roughly about anywhere from $1,200 to up to $2,500. Cut that in half if you have a tent because you don't take up as much space. True. So now that money now is anywhere from maybe $400 to $800. Yeah. So you're also saving more money. Yes, you could do a lot more in a truck setting, but you could still do a lot in a tent. So for me, there were some festivals I didn't want to spend all that money, and I didn't know how it was going to go, so I brought my tent instead. Because I never dealt with them before, so I didn't know how it was going to turn out, if I was going to profit. So I brought my tent instead, and it ended up working out. Because you're not spending all this money for vendor fee. You're spending whatever half of it is.
It's like a calculated risk.
It's a calculated risk. So there's some festivals I will never do with my truck, because I will never be able to make that money up, but I will do it with my tent.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I even plan on doing a lot more tent festivals next year. Just so I can, because I saw some major festivals that you can make money that you don't need a truck to actually make money. You can park your tent up, pay half of what these guys are paying, but still make what you're making in the truck. So, but I had to obviously learn that and see that for myself, right? But I would definitely say do the small festivals, because you still got to learn the game. You got to do the babies things. I was set up at so much little vendor markets, little things like that, and that's how I learned. I learned what people liked. I learned how to brand my stuff, and things like that. Because you're gonna have some products out there that people are not gonna really like. My menu has changed so much on my food truck. Because people like certain stuff, and then people just don't like certain stuff. And then
that honestly, I feel like, as entrepreneurs, or new ones anyway, we don't pay attention to like analytics and the data.
We don't.
And I feel like the data is where everything is.
It's very important. I have like my square, and my square is labeled. So I know, okay, cool. Our raspberry lemonade, I know it hits the most in the summertime. But I can tell that from my sales. I can look at my square and say, okay, cool. In this month of festivals, we sold this amount of raspberry, this amount of peach, this amount of passion fruit. But you have to look at that, because it's telling. Like, people like the same stuff that people like. It's weird. I'm not like, it's, you know how like these people would follow the trend? That's how it goes for food, any industry. Everything's trendy. Everything's trendy. Like next week, if everyone's wearing bell-bottom jeans, guarantee you everyone's gonna be wearing bell-bottom jeans. That's just what it is. And then next week it's gonna switch up again, right? To something else, right? So it's just trends, and people follow trends, and you just gotta actually pay attention to it.
So what about when it comes to product? When you get into these festivals, do you know how much product to bring, or have you ever ran out and be like, oh shit, like what happens in these, happens in these,
you know, when they say, you know, the Jamaican business are like, yo, we don't have that. I've been in many positions where I'm like, yo, we don't have that, because we didn't plan accordingly, which is on me. I take full responsibility, or you just didn't know. So that's what I was actually trying to tell you. When you build a relationship with these festival owners and stuff like that, they'll tell you like, hey, we're planning on having 60,000 people. So for example, Veld already sent you projections. They're like, okay, guys, prepare for 250,000 people, and always have 20% of that. So usually these festivals will tell you have at least 10 to 20%, because you're not going to have all 200 people buying stuff. That's normal.
20% is a good number.
So they always say at least have 20% of the product. So for me now, when I go out there, I say, okay, cool. If I know there's going to be 100,000 people, I need to have at least whatever, 20,000, for example, or whatever, so that's how I gauge my number, is always to have 20 to 25% of what that is. So I buy enough fruits, and I try to prep enough stuff so that I can always fulfill that. If I don't sell it all, cool, I don't. But 20% is what I need to have. It's very important for me, for sure.
So after this summer, obviously you were at some heavy hitters. How are you reinvesting your profits back into the business? Like what percentage is going into what?
To be honest, I would say 100.
100.
I want to say 100 only because, well, let me not call it 100 because some of that has to go to my employees. But everything else is like, I'm not taking no pay. I don't like pay myself from any of these festivals. I could tell you from any festival I've ever made, I've never seen a dime, bro. Because I take that and put it back into whatever else needs to be done, or I even just maybe replenish it, use some for the next festival, and then use some to just kind of stay there.
So then, sorry, what like pays your bills?
What pays my bills, to be honest, I would say my cleaning business. Yeah, and I do a little bit of other side hustles and stuff like that.
So I'm just trying to get people to understand.
You still got to do stuff.
How can you still build your business while kind of paying your bills and taking care of your
and as I was telling you earlier off mic, like I drive truck right now. So a lot of people might not know what I do, but I drive trucks. So I do commercial disposal. So I drive those big trucks that they go and they pick up the dumpster bins and then they throw it in the back. So for me, I always like to be doing something to stay afloat. I more so took this job only for the fact that my store's not running right now. So I got to keep myself busy. I want to still be able to invest and do other things like that.
That's why I took a job recently too.
You have to. It's super important to keep yourself afloat, especially if right now your main business is not making you consistent bread. Right? So I would say like majority of how I actually survive is actually from my job, from my work. If I was doing a lot of cleaning business, then that would also be my source of income. But I would say have something going on the side for sure, or that can be your main thing, and then your business can be your side. But yeah, anything I make from the juice just goes back into the juice.
So those vendor fees are gonna have to be paid soon.
And I learned that the first year I never had all those vendor fees. So I remember like, fuck, excuse my language, but I gotta go into my savings now. I gotta do this. So it's like, yo, bro. And my older brother like, yo, let me a change because I want to pay for like 3 festivals up front. Yeah. So it's like, if you're not ready and you're not prepared, then it's just like, you can literally like run into a rut, right? Jeez. So it's that would definitely be, I would say, the main thing is having some sort of like consistent money coming in while you're doing your thing for sure.
Okay. Yeah. So this summer, 2023 summer, you're gonna be in all these big festivals, right? And then that summer season is gonna finish. Mm-hmm. Where does Sam's Juices now go in the winter? What do you see now?
Yeah, so starting hopefully April is when they're gauging. We should be opening up our next store location. April 5th is right now the expected open date. We're going to be inside the Well. So it's a new big project at Front in Spadina. We'll be inside there. I can actually speak about it now, which is dope. So it's a brand new project, pre-construction. So they're in the building phase. So we should be getting our key in January and be ready to go for April. So it's actually, it's a huge project. Yeah. It has 2 office buildings, like 2 major office buildings on top, and then 6 other residential condo buildings.
Oh, so you have traffic.
A lot of traffic. And then it's obviously a major food hall just for the public. Yeah. But in that office building, there's going to be Shopify head office. There's going to be Netflix head office. Jeez. There's going to be a whole bunch of businesses. So it's going to be major. Yeah. So everyone's going to have access to this food hall, all the businesses, plus all the 6 residential condos. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of traffic all day, every day, plus the weekends. So we'll be opening up a boutique kiosk in there. And why I call it kiosk, because it's not a full-blown store.
Okay, so what does it look like?
So I don't know if you've ever been to another food hall before where it's just like you have your counter, your smaller space and all that. Okay. And it just has like your logo, but there's a bunch of other different food vendors in there.
Is it like the Square One's New Wing? Have you been to it?
It's similar to the Square One food market that they have. It's going to be similar to that. So that's why I call it a boutique, because we won't be doing any of the heavy foods. Yeah. So we're going to be actually more juice space in this one. Okay. So we're going to be bringing like a lot of juice, more smoothies. We're going to have our own protein shake menu. Yeah. Hot teas, cold tea. So I'm kind of going more the juice route with this one, only because it's on a smaller capacity.
And you don't have the kitchen, I guess, like that?
Yeah, the space is not there for the kitchen. I could have food stuff like this, but I found like this was a more like financially it was more smart for me to go this route. Yeah. So that I can use the rest of the money to actually build out my next store after that, where I can have more full store, because I obviously have plans for, the next stores and stuff like that coming, right? So I definitely want to go this route and then start building.
This is a version of the full thing.
This is just a small version. So, like kind of when you go to like, you can go to like a small Tim Hortons, for example. Yes. But they still have a full Tim Hortons store, but then they have the small ones that don't have everything. Yeah. Kind of compared to that in a sense, where this is kind of a smaller version of Sam's Juices, essentially.
Okay, makes sense. So now I'm thinking,
so that will run me through the winter. Sorry. That'll be running me through the whole year. Essentially,
that's what you'd be focusing on.
I'll be focusing on that 100%. Yeah.
How much time are you spending actually being at like your location? Yeah. Or will you be spending?
Yeah. Depending on obviously like the needs and like how much I'm needed, I still plan on hiring a team again, like I did for my other store. Yeah. But I definitely want to be a lot more hands-on in this store. Just because I feel like I'm starting over again.
Oh, so I want to get it going.
I want to get it going at the first bit. And if I see, okay, cool, like, wow, this is like, then it's like, okay, I need to hire a team in. Or if I feel like, I actually just really like being here, I might just stay there myself. Yeah. And then have just a smaller part-time staff. True. Instead of bringing in so much staff like I did the last time. Yeah, sure. So it just all depends. As I said, I like being hands-on in my business. There's a lot of owners that just want to hire a team and cut. Yeah. I like to be there. Like I like to have full control of everything that's happening. Right. So
how did you even know about this new project that was being built? Like, what was the connection that you made to be like, I need a spot in there?
Believe it or not, they reached out to me. Jeez. And that's what I talk about, like just naturally, organically, just building like, hey, like we saw your brand. We only want to have like boutique brands in whatever we're doing. We saw what you're doing in the mall and stuff like that. We would love to have you. So I got to do a tour around it. I got to see what the project's like, see if it could be a great fit for me. Yeah. And as I said to you before, I'm trying to now get into places where the volume's already at.
Yes, the traffic.
So I don't have to like kind of force it, right? Yeah. The traffic's already there, the volume's there. So I saw that, and that was a big thing for me. And I said, okay, cool. Like let's just make this work and let's try it out. And what's the least? It doesn't hurt to try anything, regardless of how the outcome is. It never hurts to try. So I said, I'll put myself in a position to just get in and try it out. Jeez. Yeah. So now we're gonna be there, and then hopefully it leads to the next one, the next one, the next one.
And you just build up.
And just build up.
Okay. Yeah. So, geez, Sam's Juices is going crazy.
Yeah, we're trying to go crazy, man. We're trying to go crazy. We've been blessed with a lot of like organic love and support. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to build off of that for sure.
I think you said something very key. We're built off organic love and support. Yeah. But I think there's an underlying message to that is that your product always has to be good.
Yeah.
Always, right? It always has to speak for itself, no matter what.
Always.
I believe that with any entrepreneurship endeavor that you're in, no matter what, you have to either give value or your product has to 100%. Work. And that's what's happening.
100%. And even if, honestly, we've had complaints, of course, like in our store, like people maybe didn't like something or didn't like, but I've listened to everybody. Yeah. So if you genuinely say, hey, maybe you can use this in your thing, I've literally try it. Like, why not? You guys are the ones buying it anyways. I'd rather satisfy you guys than my own personal needs. 100%. Because at the end of the day, sometimes I feel like as business owners, we like things a certain way. It's like, no, I'm only doing this way. This is how I planned it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But 100%. It's bad to get caught up in that mentality because it's like, the customers are the ones that are making your business run anyways.
100%.
Like I had a lady come in one of our smoothies. She said it can use more ginger, right? And in my head, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yo, I made this. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
And then I heard another person say it. And then I heard another person say it.
They're like,
because you're promoting that there's ginger in it.
Yeah.
But it's like there's only a hint of it.
Yeah.
And I had to get out of my selfish thinking, like, no, you guys don't know what you're talking about. And literally, I just went and changed a couple ingredients. Okay, guys, we're gonna start adding 2 more shots.
Yeah.
After that,
boom.
She came back. She's like, "Oh, you listen," and I'm like, "Yeah, like, I had to." But that was super. Like that was an amazing, humbling moment because it's like you got to listen to like the customers that are coming into your store and buying your stuff, 100%. Right? Like it's not all about your way or the highway,
100%.
Right? And because we get caught up in like, no, I created this. This is my brand. You know, you have to just humble yourself sometimes and listen to what the customer wants. And I truly believe that the customer is right. That quote that we've heard all of our lives is still very much true,
100%.
Right? And even if the customer is not right, there's still a moment where you can sit back and be like, you know, can I change things? Can I switch things up?
And why not?
It doesn't hurt to tweak things. And if you know, just go back to it if it doesn't work out. You know.
Yeah. So my online mentor, right? He always says like, when people ask him what he does, he never answers the question like, oh, I do A, B, and C. He says, he always asks, okay, I could do what you need.
Yes.
And like, that's the kind of like the mentality. If you go into business, it's like, yo, like, it's not really about what you think.
Yeah.
What you think is for a business just for you.
Yeah. And that's how I used to think about it. I used to think, okay, cool, I'm going to create all these menus. Because majority of the menu, I'm not going to lie, like, I like this.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like it, you know, and I'm like, yo, this is, you know, but and then I started like, you know, certain things I started like, okay, no, I have to kind of do what the customers need.
Exactly.
I remember this lady came around time, she's like, yo, the rice is too dry. Like for our jerk chicken bowl, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie to you, like, I thought the rice was fine, right?
Yeah.
And like, but it come to think about it, it's how we were making the rice and kind of how often, the frequency.
True.
So I kind of step back. I'm like, you know what? Nah, like I got to make sure, because I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to cook the rice, but we're only going to use it this amount of time.
Yeah.
And once it gets to that point, we're not using it anymore. If you guys have to make fresh rice, we're making fresh rice.
Yeah.
But that was a switch that I had to make for that lady and for everyone else that was going to come after her. That was going to say the same exact complaint.
Yeah.
But it's so true what you're saying, man. We do this for them, bro. At the end of the day, it's our business, but we're doing it for other people at the end of the day.
100%. Yeah. Okay. Shit. That's a lot. That's Sam Juices. That's what's here now. That's what's coming. Let's talk about like your nonprofit stuff and what you got going on, because obviously you have a big gala coming up, and I feel like that's just as important.
Yes,
and that's a part of you that is I know that means a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. This gala to me is even on my way over here driving, I was literally thinking how big it's gotten.
Yeah,
right. Because when I started it out, we started in a rec center. We had like 120 people there, which was still surprising that we even got that, but. Once my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I was like, okay, cool. What can I do in the community to give back to that community now? Because my dad was always a community man.
Yeah.
Like he was like, my dad was the guy that every weekend, him and my mom would buy extra food, extra rice, extra bread, just to give to families who were less fortunate.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do I carry on something that he can no longer do anymore?
Yeah.
But kind of gear it towards what's happening in my life currently. So started that out, you know, started doing work with the Alzheimer's Society Appeal. And I said, you know what? Like, it would be dope to do a gala. Literally, that's how literally just started. I'm like, yo, I'm a guy. I just have an idea and I said, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't waste time. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to get it done. So I said, how about I do a gala and I can maybe fundraise the money? Because now that I'm here volunteering in the Alzheimer's side, I see that the resources are needed, whether it be not enough material for the people and the members who go there, not enough teachers, not enough resources. So I said, let me start this gala and then I can kind of put my own twist on it while also raising money to give back to them.
Yeah.
So we had our first one. It was great. We had our second one. It was greater.
Yeah.
And now this third one, I'm not going to lie to you. I was even like, I still sit in shock that we even have this much people coming.
How much? What's the number for that?
This year we have about 350 coming, maybe plus.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people for one venue.
Yeah, for one venue and a short amount of time. And like literally, if you think about it, we started at 120 people. So we've been growing every year.
Yeah.
Our second year was only like 210, 20 people. So we've grown over 100 people.
Yeah.
And still, there's still a lot of people who want to come, but they can't because we're sold out.
Yeah.
We're too much. So now it's like, okay, I got to go greater. But now for me, this is amazing at the same time because that's 350 people I get to put on game when it comes to Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Right? We have people who are going to be speaking about their own personal experience there. They're going to get to talk to you guys and show you guys, hey, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
You guys are going to get to learn. And I'm going to open up about a little piece of my life now.
Yeah.
When I'm at that. And there's other people who are going to open up a piece about their life. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be great. We also have Wolf, who's also a guest on your show. He's going to be my co-host because he's going to bring the mental health aspect into it.
Oh, amazing.
So this is going to be a great gala for people just to kind of realize how even like mentally, how I'm affected, how people that have parents or family members who are affected by other sickness, how that affects us all mentally.
Yeah.
So I kind of combined it both to kind of give the crazy monster that we're about to have this year. So it's gonna be amazing.
I can't wait.
I'm super excited. It's just gonna be a positive.
And it's like a suit and tie.
And it's a suit and tie. It's formal. Like how I look at my gala compared to other galas is straight Grammys.
Yeah.
It's a Grammy.
Yeah.
Like people
like
are asking,
excellence.
yo, what do I wear? Like, I'm like, just make it look like you're at the Grammys.
Yeah.
You know, like I want you to feel and look good because there's not a lot of events where it's an urban event where people are dressing up and coming to it. So I'm like, if we're going to have this event once a year, let's go all out. Everybody look good, dress up, look nice, get your hair did, your nice shoes, get a tailor-made suit to fit your body.
Hell yeah.
That was the goal. And while we're doing that, we're going to raise awareness. We're going to educate people and we're going to raise like money. We're going to have a bunch of raffles there. We're raffling off 2 trips,
Jeez.
Which is going to be amazing. So as long as people like literally spend money on raffle tickets and things like that, whatever proceeds we make from raffles is going all to Alzheimer's Society.
Okay.
I said every year I want to be zeroed out. I don't want to ever make money off this event.
Wow, amazing.
Everything we make and everything that is donated is going straight to the Alzheimer's Society because that helps people like my dad.
Yeah.
Right? Because these programs that they run for these people that have Alzheimer's, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to pay for that. But they do good programs. They have musical therapy there. They have teachers come in and do things.
Yeah.
They have guys like me who come in and volunteer their time, so they need the resources.
Yeah.
So that was the main reason for this initiative.
So what do you think next year?
Man, to be honest, next year I'm envisioning an outside gala in the summertime. I'm talking like P. Diddy Easter suit vibes.
That'd be
I'm already planning in my head. I was like, it was too soon to be planning. I didn't finish this event, but I want this thing to be like the biggest Alzheimer's gala ever. That's my goal.
Especially
like the biggest Alzheimer's gala that they have in Toronto. They have some other ones that are on a smaller scale, but my goal is to have the biggest urban.
And you're bringing Alzheimer's the community that normally wouldn't show up for these type of things.
Exactly. And I tell people, like, I had some people ask me, like, our tickets were $100, right? But I tell people, I'm like, you're getting a 3-course meal, you're getting an open bar, and you're getting an experience.
And you're getting a good cause.
You're getting a good cause.
You're giving to a good cause.
You're getting good music, good people, good energy, giveaways and stuff. I look at a gala that I'm supposed to be going to, it's coming up, it's $200 a ticket. Jeez. And I didn't even blink an eye to pay for it because it's like, I know I'm going for a good cause and I know this money is going to something. So I'm here still trying to do a gala that's affordable. Mm-hmm. That might be at my fault. I should maybe be charging more, but I kind of want everybody there. So I'm like, maybe I won't go to the 200 rate, but I'll charge 100.
Yeah, you just keep increasing.
And I'll slowly still keep increasing, but I'll keep it to the point where it's affordable so that people can still come out and people can still enjoy.
Yes.
And it could still be a positive atmosphere, you know? So
amazing.
Yeah, man.
So I remember last podcast, I asked you what was your best and worst advice that you've ever gotten.
Yes.
But I'm not going to ask you that again.
Yeah.
So within this shoot, when did we shoot our last one? Maybe like 5 months, 6 months ago?
It could be like 6 months ago.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest challenge in the last 6 months and how did you get over it?
I would say the biggest challenge is not having that store. I feel like I've had some like dark moments mentally. Like, and I could be vulnerable and just be honest.
Absolutely.
Like, to the point where I'm not going to lie, I was considering not even opening up a store again because I'm like,
no more Sam's Juices.
Like no more physical. Oh, location.
Physical. Okay.
I was like, I could just stay with the truck and just do my thing.
Yeah. Why though? Why were you having those?
Because it's like when you're riding on such a like momentum and such a high and then, something doesn't work out. It's like, it's like a kick in the gut, you know? And it's like, depending on how you take it, it can either like send your business the right way or to the wrong way. I think I had moments of like doubt where it's like, man, like, am I ever going to be able to get another store of this caliber again. Because when my store came out hitting like hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like our first month sales were like 35,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that's for whatever was accounted for because like we had debit issues. So there was some money we were taking cash that didn't get accounted for.
Okay.
So imagine your first month of business. Like you open up this new store, you're making almost $40,000.
Yeah.
Money you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and then obviously it drops off a bit, but you're still consistently making great money. It's like, bro, am I ever going to make that again?
Yeah.
So I started doubting myself. Like I started doubting, like, can I do this again? Right. Can I come out with a bang and a hit?
Yeah.
And then I'm also now missing in action now. Think about it. I'm not at the mall. I haven't been there since July.
Yeah.
So there's no store for people to come to. It's like, are people going to forget about me?
Oh, true.
So that's one of the biggest
keep
things.
That momentum kind of going.
Yeah. So I'm not going to lie. I'm there. I'm like, man, people are going to forget about me. People are going to be like, yo, you know, the Sam's Juice doesn't exist anymore. And then I was also watching Phase 2.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, people are going to be like, oh, this guy's not doing well. Or like, he started a store and it's not working out. But like, I can be honest and show you guys that because this is some of the thoughts that run through our minds. We're normal human beings where 100%. We're all going to feel emotions and people might not want to admit it, but everybody's just scared of their business not doing well or people talking about their business 100%. Or whatever the case is. And I was just going through a bit of that for a little bit where I was just like, it was hard for me. I'm not going to lie, bro, because I'm just used to like,
interesting,
you know, going and I'm at the store, things are producing, things are well. And I was worried that like, there's a part of me that's like, yo, can I do this again? I was really questioning myself. And that was a battle that I've had to be facing these last 6 months.
So I guess maybe the lesson here is like, don't get too high and don't get too low.
Don't get too low. Yeah. And I'm the real definition of that. Because bro, while the store was popping off in my head, I'm like, yo, I'll be okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, okay, cool. I had all these plans for expansion with all this. And now the store's not coming in. And that little 30,000 you're making every month or whatever it is, it's not coming anymore. Right? You're seeing that drop into the account and now it's just like whatever's in there is in there.
Jeez.
You know, so it's once you start getting high, as you said, don't get too high. Just try to stay in the middle, try to still be a little bit humble and say, okay, cool. Like, how do we preserve this now? Right. Because now it's like, okay, now you could take that preservation and like move on quicker or move on to the next for sure.
So just my entrepreneur mind just going crazy right now.
Yeah.
So like I'll talk to you more about it off camera, but what I think, I feel like you've established a basement, a foundation to what you're doing.
Yes.
And in those downtimes, I feel like it's time to get online and start teaching.
Yeah. I might have to.
You know, because those high ticket items, like what people pay for courses and mentorship, is that money's there for you.
Yeah,
100%.
No, I that's why I told you offline before. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have to start coming into the route now. It's like showing people how to get into this food truck industry because I've had a lot of people hit me up like, hey, how do I get into this?
And those are high ticket prices that they would be paying.
Yeah. 100%. It's just like, I can show you guys how to get in literally from like start to finish, even where to go, suppliers, manufacturers, whatever the case may be. It's like, I can show you how to start even without a food truck.
100%.
The people around, you can still be in the food truck business and not have a food truck. You can go to a trailer. People around, there's food trailers too.
Yeah.
So you can buy a food trailer. I didn't mention this, but you can buy a food trailer used for $2,000.
Jeez.
So think about it, $2,000, and then you get it fully built out on a lower cost because it's smaller.
See, and this is the information that you have.
So I'm trying to tell people you don't need a food truck. I even told this guy the other day, you don't need a food truck. Get a food trailer if you have to.
Okay.
Right? Like I even saw them selling one up by my house the other day and the sign says $3,000.
Yeah.
It already comes built out. It has the hood vent and everything. He's selling it because he doesn't need it. He has another one now. It's an older trailer, but it's a stepping stone to start. So you start small and then you get big.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. So I asked you, what's your biggest challenge, right? So now moving forward, I want to know, like, I know you have your plans for expanding Sam's Juices, but has your plans changed from the first episode, or is it just building on top of what you're doing now?
Oh man, I've been in a space where, as I told you earlier, I'm about to unleash some new stuff.
Okay.
But it's still within Sam's Juice because what I'm saying, bro, this business, because I'm so passionate, it's literally tapped into my creative gene so much to the point where it's like, I could do 3 businesses within this business, for 100%. Example. But we had the opportunity to be at Soho House a few months back.
I seen that.
Yeah, Sam's Juices. We took over the houses our second time.
Yeah.
And my goal is working towards actually becoming like a kind of like a resident like restaurant there where we take over like a couple times a month.
Yeah.
But while we were in there, we were able to turn Sam's Juices into cocktail liquor drinks.
Woo.
Yeah. So we turned them into, and bro, that night, all of our Sam's Juice cocktails sold out.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking while we're there, I'm like, this is a whole new avenue. So I'll tell you guys this from now.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to create is the first Caribbean cocktail lounge in the city. That's the goal.
Let's go.
I don't know when it's going to come. That's why I don't want to speak on it, but that's the goal.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're going to create an actual cocktail lineup.
Yeah.
That I'm going to release. So certain brands, I will be able to kind of kind of correlate with my drink.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep the Sam's Juice menu, but we're going to kind of spike it now and add on some new things. So I'm going to be bringing like Caribbean cocktails, and it's going to be kind of like the new business within the business.
Yes.
I don't want to speak on the name until we launch.
Yeah, you're good.
But coming up, hopefully in the next few months, we're going to be able to launch on a small pop-up.
That's how you get the creativity. It keeps going.
Exactly. So I'm like, yo, if I'm making tropical juices, I can make tropical alcoholic cocktails.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason why I can't.
Yeah.
And when I mean, bro, like I've already have a book of over 80 different alcoholic cocktails already. Cause that's how creative I'm like, I could do this. Yeah. I could do this. And I'm looking at recipes online every day and different things. So that, as you said, that's kind of where I'm expanding now with that. We're having that business where I can have now cocktails that are tropical, just like how my brand is tropical. And now I'm going into the liquor route now and stuff like that.
So that's a whole new
ball game. It's a whole new monster, but I'm ready for the challenge, and I'm ready to kind of like expand with that and also learn with that, because that right there, what I'm about to release is about to be something different. Yeah, but this all came from Sam's Juices. Before I started Sam's Juice, I wasn't thinking about creating no liquor line or nothing like that, or coming out with, I never thought about that. But now once I got into it, I saw how it was, and I also saw at festivals how alcohol and liquor also are a major monster too. So I'm like, how about putting my own twist on it?
True.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of things when people say, oh, have your 5-year plan, have your 10-year plan. But in my opinion, sometimes when you're living out this plan, you think of new ideas.
Yeah. Things change.
So what do you think about that whole have a 5-year plan, know exactly where you need to be?
Yeah.
What do you think about that now?
I had a 5-year plan, I'll be honest, but as you said, it's changed, bro. Mm-hmm. It's changed to the point where it's like I thought I wanted X amount of stores, for example, but now I don't. Because it's like, okay, cool, this factor and this factor. I thought I wanted to do this, but now this liquor idea came up. So there was different things I kind of thought I wanted. I actually thought I wanted to invest into this certain business, which I'm not going to talk about. Yeah. I started the process, but then I'm like, you know what? That's actually not a part of my 5-year plan. I don't want to do it because I feel like I'm losing creative control and flow. Mm-hmm. So I decided not to go down that route anymore because they were taking that away from me in the sense where I had to kind of do what they wanted me to do. Yeah. So I thought I was gonna do that in 5 years, but now, my 5-year plan now it's
totally different.
It's totally different, man. It doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it's totally different things now that I'm about to be doing it. And I think that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay to switch up, man. It's okay to like think of different things and change your mind here and there. Like you have every right to do that.
Yeah, I think like, for example, this book, Think Again.
Yes.
I think it's basically about like pivoting your thoughts or pivoting thoughts and pivoting ideas.
Yes.
I feel like pivoting is so key and people don't understand when to pivot.
Yeah. It's 100%. And I had to literally learn that. And that's also even with not having the store, I had to learn how to pivot out of that. And it's like, you could still make money without having the store. And I had to tell myself that.
The brand still is living. It's still living.
It's still living. So it's like still pivoting out of that now, maybe pivoting to another idea or trying to get into different like settings and different crowds now with your brand, right? So definitely for me next year, as I said, I had to pivot out of a whole like bunch of festivals into now a bigger market, but less of. So I don't have to kind of like kill myself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was another banger episode.
Oh yeah.
Another banger. Appreciate you coming back on again.
Appreciate you having me, brother. Appreciate you having me.
I love to see the growth. Honestly, it's inspiring for one, and you're already places, but you're going places that like our community hasn't seen, and I love to be a part of that journey. Just let people know where they can contact you. Yeah,
you guys can contact me right now on any of my platforms. Sam's Juices being the main one. samsjuices@gmail.com or Sam's Juices just on Instagram. Just hit me up. And if you have any questions, you can even hit me up on my personal Instagram, which is robert.s.waltz.
We need to get you more on.
You know what's funny? I'm not a crazy social media man. Like I like it, and I'll post things, pause now, or repost things like or whatever. But I don't. It's weird.
I know. I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get there.
That's my goal.
I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. But hit me up on Gmail, man. Sam's Juice Gmail. People still email me now and ask me questions. I have people that are actually getting into the juice business now, and they've actually reached out to me and say, "Hey, how do I do this? Where do I get that?" And I'm a person. I'll give you guys the game.
Yeah.
If you need to get somewhere, I want to see everybody eat because there's a lot of money out here for all of us. So I would say definitely email, Instagram, just hit me up, contact me, and we could talk and chop it up. And I'm definitely willing to show you guys things. But once I start that course that Corey's about to put me on, there's gonna be a fee. But I'm still willing to give game for sure.
All right, bro. For sure. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate you having me, brother. Always.
Everything black on black. If I study that facts on facts.